Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Gus.
YouTube's recent adpocalypse has sent content creators and advertisers both kind of running scared, but most of all, YouTube and the company has just announced some new measures to counteract content that it deems offensive or extremist.
Got something controversial to say? You could find yourself in the no-no corner of YouTube.
You like the no-no corner?
Stop. I'm talking about where all the bad videos live.
Right, the no-no corner.
That's because YouTube and Google are now aggressively hunting down questionable content with the help of AI and isolating videos they deem unfit for the platform, even if they haven't quite broken YouTube's video policies.
So it's kind of shadow banning, solitary confinement, something like that anyway. There's a little bit of confusion about it, which is why we now have yet another discussion on our hands about YouTube's role in content curation, while the intentions of removing violent or extremist content is something most people don't have a problem with. YouTube hasn't always been great about only taking down the videos they're trying to take down.
Yeah, they tend to take the shotgun approach whenever this happens and ban just about everybody. Plus, there's also the matter of who gets to decide what's out of bounds. So, as always, people are worried about censorship.
Although, here's a tip. Unless you're inciting violence in your videos, you're probably not who YouTube intends to go after. Doesn't mean you're not gonna get caught in the filter, but it's maybe an accident. Does that make you feel better? But still, it's a legitimate question because of how this has gone down in the past with creators, which is kind of how, well, the whole apocalypse got started in the first place.
But before we get to all those heady questions, let's talk about the actual news. These new measures, News measures were announced by YouTube in a new blog update about their ongoing fight against using social media for terrorism and hosting extremist content.
And what are the new strategies? Well, interestingly enough, it's hiding videos from view without deleting them from the platform. It's kind of like how in a lot of online games where offensive and frequently reported players eventually get shuffled into their own community of shame with other assholes.
The stinky community. The company says that videos containing controversial religious or supremacist content that are incendiary but don't quite break any of YouTube's guidelines could now find themselves in a limited state. The post says that these videos will remain on YouTube behind an interstitial, won't be recommended, won't be monetized, and won't have key features including comments, suggested videos, and likes.
I mean, at that point, why not just delete it? As to how they're actually achieving this, well, they're sticking AI on the problem because machines are apparently way better at finding hate speech than humans, surprisingly enough.
That's a great idea. Let's teach AI all
about hate
things.
Speech.
The post says about their machine learning tools, while these tools aren't perfect and aren't right for every setting, in many cases our systems have proven more accurate than humans at flagging videos that need to be removed.
YouTube goes on to say, our initial use of machine learning has more than doubled both the number of videos we've removed for violent extremism as well as the rate at which we've taken this kind of content down. Over 75% of the videos we've removed for violent extremism over the past month were taken down before receiving a single human flag. So they're just saying, hey, it catches a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Naturally, this is just the next step in YouTube's evolving response to the recent adpocalypse. If you're not aware of what that is because you've been hiding in a hole a few months ago,
or you don't really care, which is also valid.
It's true. All of that started when a bunch of advertisers jettisoned themselves from YouTube following the discovery that their ads were being placed next to hate speech and extremist videos.
Yeah, this ended up resulting in hundreds of millions of dollars in lost ad revenue for the company, which quickly pivoted and started demonetizing just about any video that even could possibly be considered remotely offensive. That included imagery and thumbnails, certain titles, and then the content itself. It ended up having a huge effect on a number of different YouTube creators' ability to make money on their videos, while YouTube tried to sort the problem out and tried to keep advertisers happy.
A number of creators spoke out about these problems too. It hit here with some of the groups at Rooster Teeth and even affected Let's Players of war games like Call of Duty, which were suddenly considered to fall outside of YouTube's ad-friendly guidelines. Some video makers like H3H3 stopped focusing quite as much on YouTube as a result of the fallout.
Bernie told a story about he was at the YouTube Creators Summit in New York, and one of the creators there brought up that they were now making something like 15% of what they had made on the exact same content with the exact same views. So it hit a lot of people really hard. There was also the weird thing with it automatically filtering all LGBT content as inappropriate and removing monetization. It was a whole mess. Now, eventually, Google announced that they were going to put in a whole lot of new restrictions and take greater care to identify violent or extremist content so that advertisers could trust in the system. And now, cordoning off bad videos into their own special bad boy section of YouTube seems like one of their solutions, which is probably going to make creators nervous. It doesn't sound like where you want to end up.
No. However, it's worth noting in all this that YouTube is specifically targeting what they consider to be online terrorism and violent extremism associated with terrorism, but that probably won't be much encouragement to some YouTubers, especially if they got hit last time.
But that's kind of exactly why people are worried, because even though those creators weren't the target with the tougher standards that kickstarted the whole adpocalypse, they were still totally affected by it.
So if not so PG videos about video games can be unintentionally hit by the adpocalypse, it's definitely got some out there wondering if this new system of hiding offensive content could end up the same way.
And there are also loads of questions associated with that. Like, will YouTube communicate that to your YouTube video has now been hidden from view and demonetized? Will they tell you about that? That's typically how these types of shadow bans work, is they don't say anything, it just is.
The company isn't very well regarded for their communication skills, and during the adpocalypse there were several instances where videos were delisted from monetization yet didn't reflect that status in the YouTube dashboard.
Oops. Also, we don't know what the process would be to review and push back against any video that YouTube's algorithms decide to hide, and how do you escalate it if your video was actually just about cute puppies? Is it going to work as well as defending against a copyright strike or DMCA takedown? Because we all know that one's gone over super smoothly.
Super smoothly. And lastly, who's the judge of what's too offensive? We're obviously not making a case for the types of videos that YouTube is specifically trying to keep from poisoning their platform,
no.
But there's definitely some curiosity about where the line is for YouTube. Is it any video that can potentially be considered non-ad friendly?
Well, we've already seen that list, and it's the reason Call of Duty videos started getting hit accidentally during the adpocalypse, because the guidelines included even fake representations of violence, which is just about every video game ever. And judging by the new blog post, they'll still throw videos in the no-no section even if they don't violate the guidelines, which makes it more unclear. They're saying if they don't violate guidelines, but they don't really like the video anyway, boop, off into a corner.
So there's definitely concerns around the community and from creators about how all of this is going to play out in practice.
Now, from YouTube's point of view, the intention's pretty clear. They want advertisers to be able to dump money into the platform without fear of repercussion or being associated with bad behavior. This whole thing really started, I don't think a lot of people realize, with YouTube being brought in front of the courts in the UK saying, hey, why are our videos, why are our ads being on these terrorism videos? But on some level, creators also have a right to know how these things are going to affect them. Creators are what keep people coming back to YouTube, so they can make adjustments if needed without worrying about videos getting hidden out of nowhere.
It's definitely a problem without a lot of clean solutions, which is why it's been so bumpy for the last few months. They could try using the auto detection methods before videos published, for instance, but that makes the whole platform instantly less timely and relevant because it'll cause content to go up much later than it would beforehand.
Right, can you imagine if every video has to be reviewed? That's actually one of the things in Nintendo's policy. They have that you send your video to Nintendo and they go, yep, and then you can publish it and get the monetization for it on YouTube. That's working out great. Or they could just allow everything to exist on the platform, trust that people will make informed decisions about what they're watching, and not assume that the ad is automatically associated with the content. Not that advertisers care about that, apparently. But you know what? That's what has got all this in a big old mess in the first place, once ads started showing up in places that the advertisers didn't want.
Either way, we'll have to see how YouTube's new aggressive AI-fueled stance on bad content holds up, and if they'll manage to only hit the videos they're trying to hit this time around.
Unlikely. What do you guys think of YouTube's new policy of throwing videos into a naughty list, even if they don't actually break a guideline? Let us know in the comments.
And for future updates on YouTube shenanigans, remember to like this video and subscribe to the Know.
You smell like Fritos.
Fritos are so good.
It smells good.
I love Fritos.
No, corner.
Anyway, that all. I couldn't segue back, but that probably won't be much encouragement to some YouTubers, especially. I burped. God damn it! I burped in the middle of that sentence.
Gross.
However, it's worth.